Hello and ho 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 holy shiftness! It's Elaine Nieberding and welcome to the Holy Shift Show, episode 7. You've joined us today in agreement saying yes, I'm going to go elf myself. Isn't that nice? Maybe you're just a little bit more willing today to loosen up, dump your worry-wartness, interrupt your workday for a little play, and that's a very good thing. You know, when we play and we open up to letting spirit flow through us, we give ourselves permission to let, problem solving become fun and make connection with other people become wonderful and lighthearted. And we need that this time of year. Well, we need it every time of year. Right now, I want to welcome all of my lovely elves who have agreed to join me on the Holy Shift Show. And let me first say hello to Anna Godfrey. Anna, where are you hanging out from?
Hey everyone, I'm from Michigan. Glad to be here.
And Anna Godfrey is a network marketer and a team leader. And I'll probably be asking her how she weaves play and elfishness into her team leadership. Now I'm going to say hi to Margarita Crystal Lotus. Hey, Margarita, where are you hanging out from?
I'm hanging out from almost at the North Pole, close to Canada, Kingston, and I'm hearing bells in the background, and I see the iceberg over there, and we have sub-zero temperatures right now.
Woo! Woo! Well, I hope you have your long underwear on.
I do. Look at this. Look at this. The red elf pants.
So Margarita, I know that you love the natural world and the mineral world, and have a certain sense of communion with all those spirited beings that help light up our life here on planet Earth. So I hope you'll weave some of that into the discussion.
Oh,
and right now, I'm going to jump on over to, I call him your Rockness. Hello, William Rock. This is the first time we have no, it's not the first time. This is the second time we've gotten to be on a Hangout panel together. First was in February of last year, but I welcome you, master of the Google Zoo. You have a new Google Plus community, and you're into all kinds of SEO stuff, but apparently you also have some direct elf experience, so we're going to be getting into that later.
That'll be fun.
That will be fun. So where are you hanging out from again? Did you say Wisconsin?
I'm actually in Kansas.
Kansas.
So.
Kansas.
Well, it is a little chilly over here, but, you know.
So I'm so thrilled you're with us. And Zara Altair, gee, you're my bi-coastal buddy today. You are hanging out from
Oregon. I'm in Beaverton, Oregon, which is just outside of Portland, Oregon.
Yep. So in December, where we are moving into holiday season, do you get a little bit more elfish on the midweek Zap show that you host?
Actually, this week we are being very elfish, and then there'll be a break because it's on a Wednesday, and Christmas Day and New Year's Day are both Wednesdays this year, so we're going to have a break at the end of that time. However, for me, the holiday season, the holiday for me is Christmas, and it starts December 25th and goes for 12 days to January 6th, which also happens to be my son-in-law's birthday. So the Three Kings always come and visit him on his birthday.
Ah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, and there are a couple elf friends of ours that might be showing up later on the show. Dave Moore from the HPT Transformation Community here on Google+. He got in late from a flight that was delayed, so he's going to try to make it on in. And Rain Dowell, who often acts as my wing woman for comment tracking and other delights, might be popping in late. We're crossing our fingers and jingling our bells in hopes that she will show up as well, too. So I guess we have some folks beginning to arrive in the comment stream. Melanie Hall is asking, Sub-Zero, I'm glad you're warm. I guess that was directed at our lovely Margarita.
Yeah, and Deborah Rock is like, not that William Rock.
I guess Deborah has seen that hat before.
Yeah, and she was over saying, "Hey, William Rock, the holiday elves got you after all."
So I am so glad to see Deborah and Sheila and Melanie already here in the audience piping on up. And as others show up, we are so glad that you're here. We had growing numbers of people saying yes and maybe to these Hangout invitations. And I actually posted some invitations out to some of my Facebook friends, so who knows, some of them might even come over and watch on YouTube. That's the glory of Google Hangouts. You can watch it on G+, you can watch them on YouTube, and if you embed them on a website, you can even watch them there. Oh, those Google elves. You know what? I think that's a good point of discussion. We have a number of Hangout experiencers and hosts here, and Margarita, I'm going to go on over to you. You host shows, and sometimes the Google elves are nice, and sometimes they're naughty. What do you have to say about that?
Okay, so as soon as one have a little bit of fear inside, then the goblins comes out first. Those are those really grim, gross, not really elves because they're gremlins actually. It's a separate kind. And then they can cut down the show and you get kicked out. And then, so what we do is like Heidi and I, Heidi Hornland and I do the Connections show. And so then we come back into our heart and says, please, can we have a nice, smooth transmission today? And most of the time, it's like the little tiny pixies comes out and sparkle the little fairy dust on the internet driveway so that we can get out and get to our audience. It's amazing, amazing.
So that's good. And how about you, Zara? When the naughty Google elves come out, how do you cope?
You know what? I have a saying, what's a hangout without a freak out? Because like every time something weird happens, and it's just pretty much press on with who you are and with your guests, because my show is a conversational format. It's really focused on the guests and audience participation, and so whatever Google is doing that day, we just press on with it. I've had comment tracker not work, and had to go back and forth between, you know, the show and the actual web page. And I'm not one of those people who has 2, 3, 4 computers. I have one, you know, so I'm toggling back and forth. But it's like anything, you know. I was involved in drama when I was very young, and things happen on the stage. You just go on with the show. You just go on. And I also believe, though, that it is a courtesy to your audience to let them know what's going on, and that you are aware that things are different today, so they aren't wondering what's going on. And when the Showcase app came out, I was I thought I had turned it off, but I hadn't. And once you're in the hangout, you can't turn it off. And my audience was complaining, and I was, apologizing. I mean, I had just like not turned it off. So going forward and having fun, being present in the moment, I think is really important to the continuity of your hangout while you are on air.
Yeah.
And having fun. So
yeah. So we do. Sane living, balanced living can really be assisted by recognizing I'm getting all bottled up by something, and I can make a shift in the way I'm looking at something. I can make light of something and ward off my feelings of doom and gloom, because shift happens.
it really does.
I mean, it just does. And we've got the naughty elves of life that show up, and the nice elves of life that show up, and we really get to play with them all in this life. And if we're feeling dragged down, we can get mindful and get present and make a new decision. Ho, ho, ho. Okay, William, we have just been starting to get to know each other better in the last couple weeks or so, and I love what you bring here to Google+. But apparently, one of your early jobs was in a children's park. Was it a Santa's Village? What was it? Tell us about that, because I bet many people of my generation and a little younger had parks like that with, where you could go, sit on Santa's lap all year long or visit the elves or something. Anyway, tell us about it.
It was fun. That was my first job other than working for my parents, but my first real job, and it was when I was in high school as I was a freshman. The counselor took me. We got interviewed. I did my resume, did everything that I needed to do to get this job. And it took me a couple weeks just to get the answer. Did I get the job? And then finally the answer came. And it started out, my first area position was sweeping trash. I picked up.
Boy.
After all the bad elves, I picked up all the trash elves. It was a lot of fun because it was a park that was 24 hours, or sorry, 24 year round, but it felt like it was 24 hours a day. But that was the music though, because I mean, when you're working there every single day and you're listening to the same songs, because it was on a record player that actually went to the loudspeaker, and so it was just whatever was playing on that record that day.
And it was playing again and again and again and again. So, but along the way, did you actually have to dress up in elf garb?
I had to play the part. I mean, it was the entire theme. It was a holiday theme. So, multiple friends were all different Santas. I was multiple elves. There was multiple other characters that just would be randomly in the park, but yes, I had a really cute, much better than this one, of course, but it was a nice elf hat, and then I had the leotards for my elf, and I had the shoes that went with it. It was actually just tan shoes, but it looked like I was a Christmas elf, and I had on my sleeves, we had cut out pieces, so it fit the entire costume. And a lot of times I took pictures with kids with Santa, and I was actually the one who was actually helping. But I had to move up from doing the sweeping of the trash and learning those things to kind of move up to ride operator and all sorts of other jobs that I got a chance to do with inside the business. I got an opportunity at that time to be an entrepreneur with inside a company to help it grow, even though I was an elf.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And did you get ribbed by friends of yours, though, of having a job, of being an elf?
All the time. School was great, but at the same time, as my comeback was, I do have a job, and I can go pay for your lunch at school if I really wanted to. But because you said something, I'll be elfish.
You also have a couple kids, so have they enjoyed these stories, or do you have at least one picture of some of that you can show them? Yesterday you were telling me you did find something on the internet showing that park actually still exists, and I think that's cool.
It is. It was kind of a neat transition. I was there, 1991, and then I think they closed down 2008, 2010, and then they've now been repurposed. So the park is actually, I guess, rebuilt. So nothing that was there when I was there is kind of there. But it was weird because the actual owner lived in the center of the park. So they actually grew old at the park. So they started this thing way back in the days. And then they actually built their house around there because they didn't have anywhere in the mountains to go with. So they said, all right, build a park around our house. And they did.
And I guess zoning allowed it. So that was really interesting.
Melanie has a question.
Okay.
What color was your
Okay.
elf outfit? Green, red, William Rock.
Well, my leotards, my elf tarts were green. And then at certain times they were red, depending on what activities I had to be part of. If I was a ride operator, I had red. If I was actually doing other jobs like sweeping the trash, it was green. So it was a ranking system based off of colors. So my pants, my belt buckle was tan. My shirt was green. But then again, if I was a ride operator, then my shirt was red. And in the mountains, that got a little chilly, especially in the wintertime. So you're up at 6,000 feet elevation, right on the ridge of the mountain, so that wind is always coming up. And so if you're a ride operator, that's the worst job to have. You want to be you want to be serving hot chocolate is where you want to be.
Yeah.
And so I found out that one really quick. I was like, okay, I'm doing a ride over here, but this guy over here is actually in a nice, contained, heated area, serving hot cocoa to people. I want his job. So I talked him actually into taking my job. And then he really didn't like it after that. But he wanted his job back.
Yeah. So that's interesting. So early on in life, you were already involved in looking at things about rankings. How interesting. But we'll talk more about SEO and rankings on another show. Okay. I'm going to skip on over to Anna. Anna, I was thrilled this morning when I saw you post your picture of your Elf on a Shelf hat. So it was Elf on a Hat.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the Elf on a Shelf thing. I just recently came to understand that that's like a book, or it's a book and an elf. Tell us about that.
Well, I kind of, us Godfreys, we kind of just kind of roll with our own rules with things. So I don't think we actually read the full book, but I believe that the elf moves every night into different places to watch over the children to report back to Santa. I think that's how it is. And so we kind of roll with that. But sometimes our elf just kind of likes a place. It stays there for a couple days. But we did find this website with pictures of creative places to put them. It's a tradition that really tests your creativity. So we're learning to be more creative. But the kids seem to like it. It's kind of a fun thing for them.
Now, could you move your head and lower it a little bit and bring it so that we can get a good view of the elf?
Hello, my name is Cutie Pie. What's yours?
So apparently you get they encourage every family to like name their elf, and then every day or on some regular basis move the elf, and it's from that space that the elf is supposed to be like watching, kind of like Big Brother.
Yes,
kind of like Big Google,
exactly.
watching us all, looking.
It's exactly. It's like the big. Yeah, definitely. You know, it's kind of creepy. But you know, the creepy little elf going around the house watching you. Yeah, definitely. I see the creepy part about it.
It's interesting. Apparently, this book, Elf on the Shelf, was written around 2005 and has been somewhat of both a commercial phenomena and for some families, like a growing fun tradition. And like everything else, every commercial success is met with criticism. So apparently, there are articles. Let's bench the elf on the shelf, and I think you can also buy on Amazon.com even a parody of Elf on the Shelf. But I'm curious. So, what are some of the places the Elf on the Shelf has found its way to perch for a day or a few days?
Well, our elf has been in the microwave. You know, the tree's a big one. Different parts of the tree. We've taped it to the wall. Put it in the dollhouse. Lots of different places. So yeah, we are learning to get more creative with it.
So I'm gonna skip on back over to Margarita. Margarita, so tell us something a little bit more about this idea about divas and fairies. You know, because it's these little sprightly beings that apparently, you know, some humans have had the capacity to see, that has fueled the stories and the traditions that have to do with elves. Tell us a little bit about what you know about this.
So let me first pick up my elfie wand.
Okay.
And I have another wand here too. So you can see that this one is a crystal on the end and a special kind of wood. So in my country, Sweden, there always was connection with the elves, with the crystals and the actual wood that was growing around certain groves and stuff like that. And so a story I have about that is a long, long time ago when I was previously married, my mother-in-law's relatives way up north in Sweden, you know, near the Arctic Circle, they had, you know, a little farm on a slope on the mountain. It's like on a very big incline, and they had cattle there and goats and stuff like that. When I came there about 20 years ago, then there was no longer the cows there. But the stories was this, that unless you actually gave the elves a little gift, like a coin or like a crystal or something like that, under the threshold for the barn, then they would cause problem for the cows. They didn't want to go in, or they got sick, or something like that. So that's very prevalent to actually give a little gift under the threshold. And of course, in Sweden, we have the little red tomtar, we call them. They are little elves that's dressed with red, all like Santa, right? And then these ones are the happy ones that, okay, they are bringing sparkly joy to everything. So then we have the last category. They are the gray elves, and they're a little bigger. And those are the sort of, you would be very careful with them because they are very easily annoyed. So you have to give them presents. And sometimes we have to put this porridge on Christmas Eve. We have to bring the porridge right out and place it right outside of the door for these elves to eat. Otherwise, it could be kind of misfortune in there. So I think it's part of the culture that there is something that we don't see. And I work with healing, so the forces like angels and other kind of things like devas, these are kind of elemental forces who keeps us in balance. And if we tune into them, we can see them as a little being. But it's elemental energy, and in fact, elemental energies that we all need. I mean, all traditional healing systems have elemental energies. And for example, we have the physical energies for the physical body, we have our emotional body, right? And even the mental one. So even though that perhaps, if it's real or not, it's actually the energies of it that is present. And then, so with our stories about them, our culture, we can ameliorate these things inside of each person. So this is how I use, let's say, the crystals as frequencies, so that we can remove any kind of little problem or big problem a person has, especially emotional problems.
Yeah. I'm happy you brought up this explanation, because it's then a starting point for becoming curious about expanding our awarenesses into the different ways, I will say, the divine moves to help us experience all the ways in which creation is expressing itself and playing. And there's so many different levels at which we can do that. I also found it interesting you mentioning, making the offering to the elves. In many, many religious and cultural tradition, these making of the offerings are important. And this is a lot of, in many traditions also, what the season is about. It is about bringing gifts, sharing gifts, and sometimes the best gifts that we can have are actually the gifts of our mindful presence about ourselves and about others. I want to read something here from Melanie, and then I have a question for Zara. So let's see. Melanie, Swedish elf extortion? Ha ha ha. Okay, Zara. When I titled this show, I called it, Go Elf Yourself, and just nudging people to look at how much they play. Do they play enough, and how do they appreciate themselves? And so, what does elfishness have to do with any of this? What do you think?
Well, for me, elfishness is playfulness and capriciousness, and accepting the unexpected and doing the unexpected, do it a different way, make it up, play. I mean, that's what kids do all day long, is they make it up. And they change the rules on the spot. And I think, for us as human beings, and those of us who are here in social media for any kind of marketing, that it's important to play, and it's important to switch it out, I guess I would say. So people look at things in a new light. For me, I think I said this, Christmas starts on Christmas Day, so I feel like, here in Advent, all of the Christmas craziness and bye is not what Christmas is about, and that for someone like me who holds those tenets, that it's important to keep them. And that playing is not just for holiday time, but for every day. It's everyday activity, I hope, for everyone. It's every day is every day is playfulness, every day is laughing, every day is looking at the things around you, especially when you're outside. And to be outside every day is really important. Even if it's really bad weather, that's my feeling, especially since I moved to Oregon from California. That really bad weather, even if you go outside, you're experiencing what is real, and I think that helps us be present in the moment too, because there are lots of things are happening that we might not normally pay attention to when we're outside. I'm very blessed where I am here with lots of creatures, lots of different trees, lots of different kinds of trees, big birds, small birds. You know, the owls are out at night, so when I go out to look at the moon, the owls are calling back and forth to each other. Anyway, the playfulness and the elfishness, and the tradition about elves is that capriciousness, and that don't always give the expected answer. That's what I would say about that, is to switch it around and play with it.
Everything you've said is so meaningful about continuing the play all throughout the year. And for those who forget to play or who have grown up and their sense of play, playfulness, laughter has been conditioned out of them, please use this time of year to give yourself permission to re-spark that capacity. You know, and it doesn't have to end after January 1st when then you start getting serious about your New Year's resolutions. No! Resolve to play through all of the new goals that you want to establish for yourself or that you feel into in the new year. I think that's really important.
I love it. Resolve to play.
Resolve to play. Resolve to play. So I want to shift gears just a little bit, and I'm going to change hats for a moment. Oh, this cute little hat I got at the Laughter Wellness Conference in Los Angeles, California. It was hosted by a wonderful gent named Sebastian Gendry, and there was a vendor there who had great hats, so I love this one. I love turquoise. Some of you kind of know that. But my other hat, of course, is my Santa hat. So for everybody who's watching, you know, even if it's only a dollar store Santa hat, go get yourself an elf hat, a Santa hat. You know, get into your abundant, playful mood. Wear it. Wear it to work. Wear it to bed. Play. I mean, but the other reason I wanted to put on the Santa hat is, you know, Santa is the archetype of abundance, and little children gleefully, you know, receiving surprises and presents. And I would like to invite my panel and all of those who are here in the audience to feel into a little bit of this practice that I share. I try to weave it into some of my Holy Shift Show programs, but that is intentional laughter. Laughter yoga, laughter wellness, laughter meditation. When we intentionally laugh and sustain the laughing for minutes and minutes and longer, it releases this tsunami of feel-good chemicals in the body. And the mechanical activity of laughing, hearty laughing from the belly, also, it kind of massages the internal organs and stimulates feeling good. Some of you who've watched some of my laughter yoga programs have heard me, or maybe others say, motion begets emotion. People who are even down and depressed can do this practice of faking laughter and shift their body chemistry, and then they actually recognize they have a capacity to feel joy just by getting their body moving. So what I'd like to invite everybody to do with me is take a big deep breath in And then on the exhale, just laugh out hard from your belly until all the air comes out. I'm going to do it once, okay? Deep breath in. Ho, 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 ha, ha, ha. Clears out my lungs. Okay. Panel. Let's all be Santas, laughing loud and hard from our belly. Get ready. Deep breath in. Ho, 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 and you there in the audience, come on. It's Christmas time. It's holiday time. And now you can just shift it on over to a continuous laugh. Oh, maybe like an elfin laugh, which would be hee 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 hee. Here we go. Elfin laugh might be a little lighter.
Oh, it gets hot in here. Oh my goodness.
Ha 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 William, is your mic off? I don't hear you. This is naughty, naughty laughter. I want to hear you laughing.
Oh my goodness! That was so awesome. Yes, I did. I was with you. That was fantastic. Fantastic.
And this is what we say. If you ever go to a laughter club or come to a laughter activity online, we might do this. Very good, yay thing, because we just want to recognize you're participating. You're even faking it and maybe beginning to make it. Or maybe your joy is just already bubbling on up like a fountain and it's going nicely forward ahead. We are at 37 after the hour. I'm watching my little clock. And before I give everybody an opportunity to just say, you know, what you're doing, a book you've got, something coming up that you'd like for us to know about, I would like to celebrate and acknowledge how happy I am that I gave permission from my own elfishness to create the Holy Shift Show, because if you can tell, I'm having a lot of fun doing this show. And all of you have to do it your own way. You know, your persona might not be quite as goofy as mine, but do it your own way. But I want to, in the spirit of the season, invite everyone to say, Holy Shiftness! Ho, ho, ho!
Holy Shiftness!
Holy Shiftness! Ho, 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 ho.
Holy Shiftness! Ho, ho, ho! Margarita! Holy
Shiftness!
Ho, ho, ho! William!
Holy Shiftness!
Ho, ho, ho! Zara!
Holy Shiftness!
And so it might not be too close to a swear word. We could also do the other version, which is Merry Shiftness. Anna!
Merry Shiftness.
Margarita!
Merry Shiftness to you, Merry Shiftness to you, Merry, 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 merry Shiftness to you.
William, give me a Merry Shiftness.
Merry Shiftness!
Sarah, give me a Merry Shiftness.
William, that was so Santa-like. Merry Shiftness.
Merry Merry, merry, merry shiftness to you, my beloved G Plus community, my viewers from all around the world. This feels good. Okay, before I zip on over to everyone else, I'm going to announce that next week on, let's see, it's December the 16th. The next Holy Shift show is going to have a little bit different tone to it, and the topic is going to be the miracle of forgiving and forgetting. And it's going to be about exploring how do we deal with abundance, during this season. And also, how do we deal with, feelings of feeling down, or cope with our feelings of sadness from previous holidays? How do we make a shift out of those feelings and open up to our joy, to our light, and our experience of giving, not just getting, but giving, so we can make this circle of giving and receiving effortless, wonderful, and joyful. So that's going to be next week. Okay, let me go back to everybody on my panel, invite you to just share a final thought about play or elves, and then just share a little bit about how people can find you or things coming up. Anna.
Ooh, it's my turn. You know what? I definitely love this time of season. So many things that you can do with it. Like for my business and my team, I shift their focus into really putting themselves out there, beyond themselves, going out and doing. I like my girls to, think about fun themed parties, ugly sweater parties, doing parties for a purpose, collecting food during their parties for like the food banks, things like that. It really gets their mind off of the naughty elfish elves out there. And so you can find me at annagodfrey.com. You can find links to my podcast there, and if you sign up for my podcast emailing list, you get a free copy of my leadership book called Superhero Leadership, the super book for the leader mindset.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Anna. Margarita.
Yeah, this is so great. I am very excited to actually talk about healing, because that's what I do for I work with clients who are mostly women and needs to get out of these emotional stuckness and stress and stuff like that. And especially now during the Christmas, it's a very tough time for many people, because they feel obligated, they have some problems with their family members, and then you have to adhere to these traditions, and it can be kind of stressful and really overwhelming. So that's what I do, and you can reach me at thecrystallotus.com, and I have you could sign up for my newsletter and get some tips and tricks for how you can actually solve some of those emotional problems in your life. And also I want to mention that on Thursday on the Connections Forum with Heidi Hornline and myself, we are going to explore a Swedish composer who has invented some ideas about how to work with silence. And he has some community project that he's planning where people can go into different rooms and experience different sounds and silence. And so the listening skills in this is going to be very exciting to know about. So join us on Connections Forum on Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
Thank you, thank you. William, unmute yourself, dear sir. There you go.
I just want to say thank you for this wonderful show. It's been such a blast. So elfish. And allowing me to share my stories today. you can find me on the internet by typing my name, or I put a hashtag down below, which is the Google Zoo, and that actually goes into my next book. But very thankful for being on the show, and this has been so much fun, ladies.
Good getting to know you better, William, and just, seeing you talk about something different than SEO. But that's important too.
It's been
Okay. Zara, my dear, final thoughts and any other things you want us to know about how we can connect?
All right. Final thoughts. Joy in your life every day. And gratitude. I'm a cancer survivor, and that's how I feel. I am lucky to be alive. So anyway, joy in your life. Have fun. Play. Go outside. Play some more. And Melanie Hall said she had a plan for incorporating these things in 2015, and I just said in the comment stream, don't wait till 2015. Like, today is the day. Today is the day. It's so important. You can always Google me, Zara Altair, and I'm on Google Plus most of the time. I have a weekly hangout. It's pretty much a knowledge and learning hangout about your web presence with different speakers every week. And this week I'm very excited to say that I will be in discussion with David Amerland and John Keldon on Thursday on the Social Media Today show. And we'll be talking about cooperation, and you cannot have cooperation without joy.
Hey, those topics are super, and what a great panel. What great connections that you have made and grown over the year on Google+, and I am so pleased to know each of you in this in this land of Google elves.
Really,
Nice
thank
elves,
you so
naughty
much.
elves,
It's been
all
fun.
playing together. Okay, we are now at right around closing time. Zara, I have put the link to come into the Hangout room into the chat box. If you want to grab that and put that into the comment stream, if there are a couple watchers who would like to come join us to for a few more minutes of elfish play inside the Flocker room. That's what we call our followers of the Holy Shift Show, the Flockers. Come join us in the Flocker room for a few moments of extra fun. And the other thing, I basically got this nudge this morning. I think the new year, one of the things I'm going to be doing is saying, get more TLC in the new year with the for T, live, love, and laugh for L, and then I think I'm going to create some kind of challenge activity where I give you something to do every day for the first 30 days, 31 days, and I'll have to listen to my inner elves and decide whether I should be so bold enough as to start a community, but I might, so stay tuned. Anyway, I would like to thank all my watchers live and on replay on Google+, on YouTube, anywhere around the planet. We wish you a blessed December. Make every day one where you play, where you allow both your naughty elves and your nice elves to make friends for beautiful new creations. That's my word to you. Merry Shiftmas! Merry Shiftmas! So long, everybody.